everyone, this is Alan Lepofsky from Constellation Research, and I wanted to talk to you quickly today about some of the differences between email and social networks and some of the features that companies are starting to bring out. Now, you've long heard me talk about the benefit of email as the fact that anybody, anywhere in the world, using any operating system, using any client, using any device, can send an email message and the other recipients can get it. Contrast that to social networks, where the only people that can see information inside a social network are people using the same one. So if company A is using a social network, all of its employees can see that information. If company B is using a different social network, they can see all their information, but the two don't communicate with each other. And that's a big problem. So in order to get external people into an internal social network, what people have been doing, or what products have been doing for years, is what's called guest access. So you are given an ID and a password on that system, you can log into that system, and then you can access that. And that's a pain, especially the more and more systems you use. If I have to work with 20 different clients and they use across that 10 different tools, then I'm gonna have a whole bunch of different IDs, I'm gonna have to use a whole bunch of different systems, etc. Compare that or contrast that to public social networks like Twitter or Facebook, where you can communicate with anybody, and that's because everybody's on that same network, so you don't have to worry about them. So you can communicate with any of the billions of people that are on those networks. But we don't have that at work because, like I mentioned, most companies use a different type of social network. Well, what Slack has introduced recently is what's called shared channels. And what that means is for customers that are both using Slack, so company A is using Slack and company B is using Slack, they can communicate with their internal employees, plus they can have a channel that is shared between the two different networks, or so the two different workspaces. So if there's a company that wants to have communication with one of their partners or suppliers, and those partners and suppliers are also using Slack, well then their employees will be able to seamlessly sort of share that experience. They don't have to have a different login, they don't have to have a different password, they don't have to use a different tool. So what Slack is doing is taking a step towards that sort of Facebook-like model where if everybody's on the same platform, sort of like email, everybody's on email, everybody's on Facebook. How do you get everybody onto an enterprise social network? That's been the biggest barrier to adoption for the early generations of social networks, is that the only people that could use them, or the only people that could share amongst them, were the ones using the same tool. Now, Slack's implementation has what they currently call public shared channels, and they've just introduced private shared channels. So public shared channels means if there's a shared channel between company A and company B, then everybody on both sides can see it. Now, obviously that may not be good for confidential projects. So what they've introduced now is the beta of private shared channels. So company A and company B can have a channel in common, but the administrator from each company has to invite those members in to share that information. So it's an interesting step. It's a great evolution. Look, we want to try to get from the world of email where everybody has the same access and everybody can communicate with everybody to that same world in social networking at work. And I think these shared channels are a good first step. This has been Alan Lepofsky. Hope that makes sense. Talk to you later. Bye.